There's this specific rush that every manga collector chases, completing a series. The harder it was to complete, the more rewarding that sweet dopamine rush will be. Nothing compares to it. It's something I recently managed to experience, which is why I want to talk about completing a series. In 2022, I managed to complete the Fullmetal Alchemist in the Full Metal Edition, and it was a huge endeavor for me. Now that might seem a little weird now, since not only is the series complete, but it's also in print. You can get it all right now, and the only hurdle is the cry of pain that your wallet will experience. So let me start at the beginning. Why is this such a huge achievement for me? I started collecting this edition of Fullmetal back in August 2018, just before Volume 2 came out. I've always wanted to have the full series since the Danish localization that I was originally collecting 8 years prior was suddenly cancelled. I had an unfinished series which was just standing there for 8 years, laughing and spitting in my face. An unfinished series is one of the worst things for a collector. So I was contemplating on getting the box set when the Fullmetal Edition dropped, and then I knew my redemption arc would be through that. Now, this who prints the Fullmetal Edition played the slow game when it came to the release of the full series. It's based on the Japanese Kanzenban and was technically ready to just drop, but you don't achieve hype that way. So instead they drop one volume every 3 months. 4.5 years is what it took for everything to come out. It took me 4.5 years to finally have the full series. A series which was already available in English in both singles, box set and omnibuses. But I wanted my hardcover upgraded version. So I had to play the waiting game. Now, even though it took a long time to collect, since I was waiting for the volumes to be released, I still enjoy the process. And unfortunately, I see a lot of collectors neglecting that. There's a tendency to accumulate everything quickly, and we often don't want to fall behind when we compare our collections to others on Reddit or YouTube. So instead we see these massive hauls where almost the entire series of any given kind has been bought and put on the shelf, just so we can be a part of the cool game. And sure, if there is a great deal on a series that you want, then there's nothing wrong with getting it all at once. Hell, if you want the Fullmetal Edition right now and there's a great deal for all 18 volumes, then go for it. But this fixation on getting everything as quickly as possible tends to not only miss the point of collecting, but will also ruin you financially. The progress of slowly but surely getting the entire series filled me with not only joy, but a sense of completion. I got to appreciate every entry, see the progression, and notice the finish line on the horizon once I got to the final 4 volumes. Just one more year. One more year and it will be done. Words cannot describe that feeling. That feeling of, I'm gonna do it. I just slowly collected the volumes through the years, but now I'm actually gonna finish it. And then, when I had the final volume in my hands, the sensation of completion was undeniable. Sure, it's just a manga, but again, that mindset misses the point. It's also why we should be careful of just rushing to get everything at once. And what am I talking about? What is this great point? Well, let me answer it by asking you another question. Why do you collect manga? And the answer might seem obvious, because I love the series, I want to support the artist, nothing beats reading it physically, so on and so forth. But I will say there's one more reason that often ends up becoming more prevalent than the other points. Because the journey is addicting. Not just arriving at the finishing line, but getting there. The challenges, heartaches and frustrations that accompanies you. That is the reason we collect manga. This might seem a tad over the top. You might sit there and think, I just like the volumes and wanted them on my shelf. Or they look cool in your home. And that is fine, but I bet most of you do it because you enjoy the ride. Getting a new haul, unpacking your purchases and putting them up with the rest. And it even starts before that. Finding what you want to buy, getting good deals and hunting down those rare volumes that keep escaping you. I have a few series that means more to me because of the journey getting them than others. They might not be my favorite in my collection, but the experience I got while getting them adds to my attachment to that series. Which brings me back to Fullmetal Alchemist. Nothing was difficult in acquiring the series. Just wait for the release. But for some reason, that wait ended up making it a fun and fulfilling journey. Even if I would have preferred it to be released quicker. It was something I looked forward to finishing, to finally have it all. I might not experience a joy like that before we are caught up with JoJo. Which brings me to my final point, catching up. Now there's a difference between catching up and hunting down. I know, yeah, but hear me out. You can still easily catch up to a series still in print. And the journey there might not be as fulfilling. And that is fine. I didn't get any deep sensation on catching up on Chainsaw Man, Blame or any other series except relief that I could now start focusing on other series. However, sometimes catching up is more difficult if certain volumes is often out of stock. It still happens to me even right now. And overcoming that can end up scratching that itch of completion. So it's not all bad. However, there's another side to catching up, which is to actually do it. Way too often do I see collectors being way behind on catching up on dozens of series. They keep starting new series before catching up / completing other series. So instead of having a solid collection of mostly full series, you see dozens and dozens of different series with only 4 or 5 volumes in each. And then they go over their collection and with each series they say, I need to get the rest. I need to catch up. I know, I'm missing a lot. But I started this new great series and have the first 3 volumes. Guys, try and complete or catch up to a series once in a while. Then you won't have to stress about needing to catch up on everything and instead only on something. Hunting down, however, that is the grail. And I've only done it once, and the stress, doubt and utter relief I went through getting it all probably wasn't that healthy. And I even got most of it in one haul, which kinda goes against my point for this video. But hunting down those volumes from different sites and getting the last volume was still a ride I won't forget. And that is what I hope you will take away from this video. The journey. Don't get caught up in getting all the volumes you want right now. Don't rush it unnecessarily. Remember to stop up and take a look at what you have achieved. Compare it to when you started. Let it motivate you to keep going. And remember to enjoy the ride. This hobby is all about the journey. But also, no matter how you do it, in the end, nothing really beats the feeling you get when you finally complete a series. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think it's more about getting everything you want, or do you think the journey is one, if not the most important part of collecting manga, that is? Whatever you think and whatever your ideas are, comment below and read your thoughts. And as always, until I see you in the next video, remember to stay awesome. See ya.